They've been called to be a peacemaker. They've been called to keep the peace. They've been called to keep our communities safe and secure. They've been called to make a difference so that you can drive down the highways and the byways, that you can raise a family in this community.
Friends and colleagues of a fallen sheriff's deputy, Gary Morales, gathered in Fort Pierce just hours ago to say their final goodbyes. Good evening, I'm Kelly Dunn in for Shannon Cake.
And I'm Jay Cashmere. We have live team coverage as thousands gathered and paid their final respects to Sergeant Gary Morales, a husband, a father, a 13-year veteran of the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. We begin our coverage with News Channel 5's Michael Williams live in Fort Pierce.
Jay, any other Monday like this one would have been called beautiful. Today, though, only the heartfelt, heart-rending loss that envelops everybody's minds and hearts here as thousands gathered at Westside Baptist Church for final funeral services for 35-year-old Sergeant Gary Morales, killed in the line of duty. And just a short while ago in Palm City, the graveside services concluded. We go there now live to my colleague Alex Sands. Alex?
Okay. Michael, as one former firefighter told us today, this was perhaps the biggest crowd he'd seen in a service of his kind in probably 30 years. So many people coming here to pay their respects. One final goodbye for Sergeant Gary Morales. As you know, the procession left Fort Pierce late this afternoon, making that 17-mile journey to Palm City, to Forest Hills, where just after 4 o'clock this afternoon, those services got underway. A graveside service, as you know, and as we saw earlier, very emotional here as well, as we saw at the church earlier today. Also can tell you this, that there was a very customary traditional service here, as we've been reporting today. The 21-gun salute, taps, a helicopter flyover, and then toward the end of it, 10-7, the sign from dispatch that in fact his number had been retired. As first responders and others here today told us, this is something that when someone is lost in law enforcement or in the first responder community, they all come together from near and far. As we saw today, people traveling from as far away as Maine to pay their final respects.
I never knew Sergeant Morales, so I really can't say. But, you know, it's out of respect for the police service, the fire service, and when there's a line of duty death, everybody turns out no matter what. I've been doing fire and police funerals for the last 30 years, and this is one of the biggest turnouts I've ever seen at one.
Again, those services wrapping up just a short time ago. Here at Forest Hills, there was still some display of remembrances, flowers that were brought in late this afternoon, people paying their respects from as far away as New York and here in South Florida and the Treasure Coast. A very emotional day for the family, his wife, his children, his parents, and those he leaves behind here in law enforcement. Michael, back to you.
Alex, thank you. Born in the Bronx but rooted on the Treasure Coast, Gary Morales was a presence anywhere he went. As a law enforcement officer, as a devoted family man, and a friend to this community that he protected for some 13 years after leaving the United States Air Force. Left behind his wife Holly, his two children, 6 and 8 years old, Brooklyn and Jordan. And today, several thousand people gathered right here at Westside Baptist Church in Fort Pierce, an estimated crowd that may have been as high as 4,000. From around Florida, they gathered to pay final respects. They arrived from every corner of our state, men and women who share the risk of their profession each day, and now, under a giant American flag, came together to honor one who died doing his duty. His sheriff called 35-year-old Sergeant Gary Morales a hero. Everyone here did.
Gary earned a reputation for decisive action, dealing with crimes in progress, investigative skills, and compassion for victims of crimes.
Morales' nephew and nieces reminded this huge church assembly what a family, what friends, and our community has lost.
My Uncle Gary was the life of the party. He loved to make his presence known and just make you laugh. But now he's gone. It's still so unreal to me that a man like my uncle can be laying in a casket, but he died a hero. He died an uncle.
I'm so sorry the selfish person took your life. You were such a role model to my dad and Nick. I love you so much, Uncle. Rest in peace.
Trying to sum up the words to describe a full and vital life, and left now with only the comfort of heartfelt memories and a salute for a man, a husband, and a father. A salute, a comfort, and a vow by the sheriff and all of the law enforcement officials and the rank and file who gathered here to hold that family close in the days and months, indeed years to come. A final show, one of many final shows of respect here. The sheriff named the training complex at St. Lucie County, where Gary Morales was famous for pushing himself and others to be their very best. It's been renamed the Gary Morales Training Complex. Governor Rick Scott in attendance here this day, as was Attorney General Pam Bondi. For more on the procession that left here, the solemn, long, silent procession that left here and made its way to Palm City over the last several hours, and for the people who gathered along our highways to watch that show of respect and gratitude for a man and a life, for that part of the